Hello everyone, welcome back to my Let's Replay channel. This week we're going to do our vlog review of Dungeon of the Endless. Now, overall I can say just off the bat that this is a game that I really liked going into, but found really frustrating towards the end. So first, let's go over the good points. It's really easy to get into. It's got a lot of good niche categories in there. Like it's got tower defense, it's got roguelite in it, it has some sci-fi elements, it has crossover with Team Fortress 2. The graphics are serviceable for the pixel graphics that they're using. You can tell what's going on, and the animation's decent as well for the combat and everything, for the movement. So overall, it's a fairly decent game just looking at it and playing it. It's serviceable. Doesn't have any bugs or any game breaking glitches or anything like that. I like the progression it has up to a certain point. And I like the randomness of starting in each level, not kind of knowing how every level's set up. That's also part of its downside, though. So those are some of the good points on it. Some of the bad points. Basically, this game gets way too hard, way too fast, even on the too easy difficulty, and I use quotation marks too easy, because when I got to level 5 or 6, I started losing. I had my maximum of 4 characters in my party, and then I started losing them pretty fast at that point. I had lost 1 a level until I just decided, okay, I'm not putting up with this, and I just uninstalled the game at that point, because I've been to that point 2 or 3 times before playing it over the years. So let me explain myself a little bit. So when you get to a certain point, the maps get significantly larger. So you don't have as few rooms to go in or to protect, and unless you have the RNG generator, the random number generator, perfect on your run up to that point, it's not likely you're going to come out doing that well, because after you get to a certain point, you have to pretty much have every room totally kitted out with turrets or or buffs or whatever you can put in there, because they throw so many monsters at you, even in these fairly low levels, that you need all of them just so they don't get to your core and kill it, or kill all your guys. So it becomes a war of attrition of, okay, they're coming from this direction, that direction, I don't have enough power for there. I have 5 power, but there's 8 rooms total, so I have 4 rooms that are going to probably generate monsters that are going to come from all these different directions. And you can reroute power to some extent, but after a while, it just gets to a point where, oh my gosh, I don't have enough resources to build here. I don't have the resources to heal. I don't have enough resources to, level up my guys enough to get to this point. So, and on top of that, the vendors you find, you need to find vendors pretty much every other level. I would recommend, but you don't always. So I went 2 or 3 levels without finding a single vendor, and I didn't get chests until around that time as well. So I didn't have any additional items to help my guys out. So at a certain point, it just becomes just frustrating for frustrating's sake. I ran into 2 or 3 other characters I had an option of taking, but at that point, if you've spent a ton of resources and leveling the guy up, maybe to level 5 or 6 at that point, and then there's another guy there level maybe 4 or 5, why would you take them over another person? Unless you're bringing something specific to the table and you know every single character, it's really hard to just kind of know on instinct, oh, maybe I'll take this guy over that guy. But if you do, there's no guarantee he's going to be any better or worse than the guy you already have. So getting to the other bad points on it, I just say that for a game that's this much fun to start, the elevator rides and everything, there's not a whole lot really to keep you there after a while. It's fun to a certain point, but then after that, it just gets to be okay, even the scramble to the end to get your power core to the end of the level can be frustrating as heck, because you're not going to make it. Because the last 2 or 3 levels I had, I got to the end fairly early, but I knew if I went to the next floor, I'd just be killed anyway, because I didn't have enough resources or levels up on my guys to survive the next floor. So I had to open up every other room after that. So, excuse me. So I was fighting off all these monsters from the original path I took, and then I wasn't hardly getting any other power from the monsters I was killing or from rooms I was opening up. So I was being attacked by so many different places that I literally had to micromanage everything and pause like every 2 seconds just so my guys wouldn't die and I could finally get enough doors and resources to get out of the level with some form of, I don't know, confidence I'd survive the next level. But it's just kind of, it's no way to play a game. It's more micromanagement than anything. So games should be fun overall, and this one started out fun and turned out to not be fun. So if I had to give this a score, for nostalgia, replayability, you know, graphics, user interface, all that good stuff, I'd have to give it a 6, honestly, because it's not a bad game, but for anyone looking to play something like this, if it was just the same levels over and over, you can kind of game plan it, because the RNG is so high for the randomness of where levels are set up, what items you get, what characters are going to be there. If you get a bad run, you've wasted literally hours. If it was like short levels to start off, like the first half, that'd be one thing, and then slowly get the levels a little bit bigger, bigger, bigger till the last level. That'd be one thing, because that would ramp up the difficulty, you know, sequentially. But because they ramp up the difficulty so early, it takes so long to get through the like 3rd, 4th, and 5th levels that by that time you've sunk hours into it almost. So who wants to start over at the very beginning with new characters after hours of getting to that point and with no guarantee that you're going to do any better the second time? So even though roguelites, I love them, if they're done right, in this case, the RNG is way too much for the levels that they had. If they were a little bit smaller from the beginning to the middle at least, you could kind of get your guys leveled up, get them done, and then the difficulty ramps up towards the end of the level like it should for any other game out there. But because they ramped it up so early in the levels, then it's just not worth it to go back once you've wiped out. Because even if you lose even one person at that point, you're pretty much done, because you have to have people there to either get additional resources, guard rooms, guard areas, or choke points, or repair, you know, systems. So it's not really worth it to start over. So that is pretty much my thoughts on Dungeon of the Endless. It's still fun to start. I'll probably reinstall it next year to try it again, but I always come back to the same point of after a while it just gets too frustrating. So thank y'all so much for watching. Once again, this is Andrew T coming at you. Y'all have a good one.